Welcome to another deep dive today.
Yeah.
This time we're going to be looking at something I think a lot of people would consider counterintuitive at first glance.
Right.
And that is silence
Okay.
as a path to success and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And well, our source material today
Yeah.
is a retelling of a Buddhist story.
Okay.
And it really, turns things on their head.
Yeah.
You know, we're always being told, speak up, make yourself heard.
Sure.
But what if it's actually the opposite?
Mm-hmm.
What if less talking actually leads to more happiness?
Well, that's kind of the paradox that this source material really gets into.
Right.
And it starts with a king who has it all, right? He's got the wealth, he's got the power, he's got comfort,
Yeah.
but he's still deeply unhappy.
Yeah. I think that's something so many of us can relate to on some level.
Right.
It's that whole idea of you can have everything,
Yeah.
but still be missing something.
Sure.
So what happens? Does he go on a meditation retreat or something?
Well, he ends up meeting a monk who prescribes something a little bit different, and that is 15 days of near total silence.
Oh, wow.
You'd think that maybe therapy or some sort of action plan would be the way to go.
Right. Yeah.
But this story really stresses this radical stillness
Okay.
as the path to change.
So no talking, no distractions, just silence.
Pretty much.
I can only imagine that was a pretty tough transition, especially for a king used to, always having the final word.
Well, yeah, I mean, day one was definitely not easy for him.
Okay.
The source describes him as having a lot of resistance. His mind's racing, this constant urge to talk, to fill the void.
It's we're so programmed to avoid silence.
Right, we always have to be doing something, even if it's just making noise.
It's almost uncomfortable to just sit with our own thoughts.
Yeah, totally.
But the story says there's a turning point
Uh-huh.
for the king on day 2.
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, he starts to observe his surroundings. He actually starts to see the beauty in nature,
Okay.
the stuff that's always been there.
Yeah,
But he was too busy to notice before.
I see. So it's the silence is allowing him to become more aware.
Well, the source really connects silence to a deeper awareness, yeah. It's not just about not speaking, it's about creating space to actually perceive more.
Okay, so it's the silence becomes a tool for mindfulness,
Exactly.
for really paying attention
Yeah.
to what's around us and within us.
By day 12, this awareness has deepened to the point where he actually enters a state of meditation.
Oh, wow.
And he experiences this profound inner peace.
Interesting.
And the source really emphasizes that it's not something he forces.
Okay.
It's a natural result of the stillness.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the silence wasn't just quieting the external world, but also the internal chatter as well.
Exactly.
Did the source material offer any insight into why that inner peace emerged?
Yeah, the story points to the king's realization that his own negative thoughts and words were actually making him unhappy.
Oh, interesting.
He was caught in this cycle of self-criticism, worry, and it was just draining him.
Makes you wonder, how often do we do that to ourselves?
Right?
Those inner monologues that can just spiral out of control.
Totally.
But so the source is suggesting that silence can help us break free from that cycle.
That's what it seems to be saying, yeah.
And it connects this idea to the teachings of Buddha, right?
There's a story in the source where a student asks Buddha why he's often silent.
Right.
And Buddha's reply is, silence is the gateway to self-discovery.
I love that.
Yeah.
It really suggests there's something to be gained from quieting the noise, both external and internal, that we might otherwise miss.
Right.
Did the source elaborate on any of those benefits?
Yeah, it lists reduced conflict,
Okay.
less restlessness, improved focus, even greater success as outcomes of embracing silence.
So it's by quieting the noise,
Yeah.
we create space for clarity and for more skillful action.
That's the idea.
It's like when you declutter a room,
Yeah.
you can finally see what you have and use the space more effectively. So how does this decluttering of the mind through silence actually work?
Well, the source material dives into this idea that true peace comes from within, not from external validation or
Right.
constant chatter.
Yeah.
So it's not about seeking silence to avoid the world,
Right.
but rather to cultivate a sense of inner harmony
Okay.
that then allows you to engage with the world more effectively.
It's like building that inner foundation of stillness, so we're not constantly reacting
Right.
to every external stimulus.
That's a great way to put it.
So does the source actually give us in the advice.
It does.
It's like, how do we actually do this?
Well, it recommends spending at least 20 minutes a day in silence,
Mm.
whether that's through meditation,
Yeah, okay.
being in nature, or just finding a quiet space to just be.
I could see that being possible,
Yeah.
even with a busy schedule.
It's like taking a 20-minute mental health break
Right.
from all the input.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the quantity of silence.
Okay.
It's also about the quality of our speech when we do speak.
Okay.
So the source suggests becoming more mindful of our words,
Yeah.
choosing kindness over criticism,
Hmm.
and avoiding unnecessary gossip
Yeah.
or negativity.
So it's not like we're taking a vow of silence,
Right.
but it's about bringing more awareness to how we communicate and the impact our words have,
Right.
both on ourselves and others.
Exactly.
And it also encourages us to notice how we feel
Yeah.
when we're surrounded by noise versus when we're in silence.
Like, what shifts do you notice in your energy, your mood?
Yeah, your ability to focus.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a personal experiment to see how silence affects you.
Right. It brings up a point about how much we actually talk. And it suggests that if we actually consciously reduced our talking by even just 10%, it could lead to a significant decrease in the problems we experience.
Fewer arguments, less drama, more peace.
Right.
Just from talking a little less.
That's what the source seems to be suggesting.
That's something to think about.
It is, yeah.
So in this deep dive, we're really looking at this idea of the king's journey,
Right.
of transformation through silence,
Yeah.
the Buddhist perspective on its importance, and even some tips for incorporating it into our own lives.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
As we go into the next part, we're going to delve even deeper into how silence can enhance our relationships,
Okay.
boost our productivity, and just help us navigate the complexities of modern life.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about silence as this key to unlocking a better version of ourselves.
Yeah, and in the last part we talked about like how we can practically apply these ideas.
Right.
You mentioned spending time in nature.
Yeah.
Is there more to that than just like
Sure.
enjoying the scenery?
Yeah, the source actually links being in nature
Okay.
with developing this specific kind of silence, this inner stillness that lets you observe your thoughts and emotions without getting swept away.
Okay.
It actually compares it to like watching the sunrise and set each day, this natural rhythm of like ups and downs.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It suggests that by connecting with nature, we can tap into that peace and stability that's always there,
Yeah.
even when things are tough.
It is there, yeah.
So it's not about ignoring our feelings,
Right.
but more about like creating space.
It's about cultivating a sense of spaciousness within yourself
Okay.
so that you can experience your emotions without being overwhelmed.
It's like creating that buffer zone
Yeah.
between our thoughts and our reactions.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
And that's where the power of silence really lies.
Yeah, it lets you choose how you respond instead of just reacting out of habit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We were also talking about the downsides of too much talking.
Right.
What did the source say about that?
Well, it specifically highlighted how talking too much can fuel restlessness,
Okay.
create conflict, and even prevent us from reaching our goals.
It's almost like we get so caught up in the chatter,
Right.
we lose sight of what's important.
Exactly.
And, you know, we often think of communication
Yeah.
as the key to solving problems.
Sure.
But this is suggesting that sometimes less is more.
It's recognizing that not all situations
Yeah.
require verbal intervention.
Right.
Sometimes the wisest course of action is to just observe, listen, and let things unfold.
So it's not about being mute,
Right.
but choosing our words carefully
Exactly.
and using silence strategically.
Yeah, and the source emphasizes that our words are a reflection of our inner state.
Okay.
So by cultivating mindfulness through practices like silence, we become more aware of our thoughts and intentions, which naturally leads to more authentic and compassionate communication.
It's like we're refining the filter
Yeah.
through which our words pass so that what we express is more aligned with our values
Right.
and our true selves.
That's a great way to put it.
And this idea of aligning our words with our inner state
Yeah.
is also linked to this concept of self-discovery. You know, the source actually has a powerful statement in there.
What's that?
It says that looking inward is where life originates, not through other people.
That's a good one.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up
Right.
in seeking validation,
Yeah.
direction from others.
Yeah.
But the Source is suggesting that real fulfillment comes from within.
It's about recognizing that we already possess the wisdom and guidance that we need.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of tapping into it.
It's like we all have that inner compass, but the constant noise of the world just makes it hard to hear it.
It makes it hard to hear those whispers, yeah.
But silence allows us to tune in
Right.
and recalibrate.
The Source actually compares this journey of self-discovery to watching the sun rise and set each day, this continuous cycle of growth and renewal.
Life is a journey, not a destination.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And embracing all those experiences,
Yeah.
the ups and the downs, it's all part of it.
It's all essential.
And silence can help us navigate all of that.
Yeah, with more grace and equanimity.
This is really changing how I see silence. It's not just about being quiet.
Right.
It's about accessing this deeper level of wisdom
Yeah.
and awareness that can impact all areas of our lives.
Oh, sure.
And speaking of impacting our lives, the Source also talked about
Yeah.
how silence can enhance our intelligence
It does, yeah.
and even contribute to greater success. I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, it challenges the conventional definition of intelligence. Okay. Which often focuses just on knowledge and verbal fluency.
Okay.
But it suggests that true intelligence is knowing when, where, and what to say
Interesting.
at any given time.
It's about discernment,
Yeah,
using our words strategically,
exactly.
and recognizing that sometimes the best response is silence.
Right. It's about understanding silence as a tool for observation,
Mhm.
reflection, and deeper understanding.
And it also linked silence to success.
Yeah, it makes this bold statement that people who speak less tend to be more successful.
Okay.
And it suggests that by listening more than we speak, we gain valuable insights
Yeah.
and build trust,
Okay.
which are essential for achieving goal.
So it's not all about self-promotion
Right.
and constantly putting ourselves out there.
Exactly.
Maybe a more thoughtful approach
Uh-huh.
is more effective in the long run.
It is something to consider.
Yeah.
And the source also points out that people who are dishonest or negative often find themselves isolated and avoided,
Right.
which further reinforces this idea that integrity
Yeah.
and authenticity are crucial for success.
It's like those negative words and actions create a barrier,
Yeah,
whereas silence, when used wisely, can actually build bridges
exactly.
and foster genuine connection.
And the source goes on to emphasize how silence can help us develop patience,
Okay.
which is so valuable in our world today.
I could definitely use more patience.
Right.
But how does silence do that?
Well, it suggests that silence allows us to slow down,
Oh.
create space between stimulus and response,
Yeah.
and to observe our reactions without judgment.
Okay.
And over time, this helps us develop greater self-awareness and emotional regulation.
So it's not just about waiting calmly.
Right.
It's about understanding our impatience
Yeah,
and developing the inner resources to respond differently.
exactly. Patience is not passive, it's an active practice
Interesting.
of self-regulation and mindful awareness.
And the source says we can start cultivating this by just spending 20 minutes a day
Yeah, even just 20 minutes.
in solitude and reflection.
It doesn't have to be a formal meditation. It could just be a walk in nature,
Yeah.
or enjoying a cup of tea, or
Yeah.
just disconnecting from technology.
It's about creating that sanctuary of silence
Right.
within ourselves.
Wherever you are,
Yeah.
just allowing ourselves to be.
And in that space of being,
Yeah.
we might discover things we never knew were there.
A wellspring of creativity, wisdom, peace.
Silence is not about emptiness, but fullness.
I agree.
It's about tapping into a deeper level of ourselves
Yeah.
and our potential.
As we go into the last part of our deep dive,
Mhm.
we'll explore even more specific examples
Go.
of how this fullness of silence can actually enhance our relationships,
Okay.
improve our productivity, and ultimately lead to a more fulfilling life.
So we're back, and we've been talking all about the power of silence.
Yeah,
Really amazing stuff.
it really is, yeah.
So how do we actually, bring this into our lives?
Well, the source dives into a few different areas.
Okay.
Starting with relationships.
Okay.
It really emphasizes how when we speak less and listen more, We create this space for genuine understanding.
Yeah, it's like we're so often just waiting to jump in with our own story.
Right, like we're not really hearing what the other person is saying.
Exactly.
Which can lead to, misunderstandings.
Yeah, hurt feelings, that sense of disconnect.
But when we practice silence, not just literally, but in how we approach conversations, it can really change things.
So it's not about shutting down communication,
No, not at all.
but being more receptive.
Exactly.
The Source talks about how silence allows us to really be present.
Yeah, to hear not just the words, but the emotions behind them.
It's like giving them the space to be heard.
Without feeling judged or interrupted.
And when we listen like that, it deepens our understanding.
It strengthens the bond.
I know the Source also mentioned silence as a tool for reducing conflict.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, our instinct is often to just react defensively.
Yeah.
Which just makes things worse.
Right.
But silence lets us pause, step back, and choose a better way to respond.
Like hitting the reset button.
Exactly.
At an argument.
Not give everyone a chance to breathe.
Yeah, regain composure.
In that pause, we can reflect, connect with empathy, and find a better way forward.
Now, beyond relationships, I know the Source also talked about silence in the workplace.
Right, not just about peace and quiet.
Right.
It suggests that it can actually lead to better decisions, increased productivity, and less stress overall.
I can see how in a busy work environment, silence might seem a bit counterintuitive.
It might, yeah.
So how does the Source link those things?
Well, it says that when we're constantly bombarded with information and demands,
Yeah, that's definitely true.
it's easy to feel overwhelmed and make impulsive decisions. Right. But silence creates space
Okay.
for clear thinking.
So it's like we're creating that mental breathing room
Exactly.
to allow for more strategic thinking.
It highlights the link between silence and creativity, too.
Interesting. How so?
Well, when we're not constantly talking or consuming information,
Yeah.
our minds can wander,
Okay.
make new connections, come up with fresh ideas.
It's like giving our brains permission to play,
Yeah, to explore.
which is often where the buff ideas come from.
And it's all connected to improved focus and concentration, too.
In today's world of endless distractions.
Right, it's so important.
How does silence help with that?
By quieting that mental chatter, both through literal silence and practices like mindfulness, we train our minds to stay present with whatever we're doing.
It's like we're reclaiming our attention.
That's a great way to put it.
So important.
Yeah, and this brings us back to that idea that silence isn't about emptiness, but about accessing a deeper level of awareness and potential.
It's about recognizing that stillness is not the absence of life, but a pathway to a richer experience.
Beautifully said.
And what's so encouraging
Yeah.
is that you don't have to become a hermit to tap into this power.
Not at all.
Even small moments of silence can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Just creating pockets of stillness
In the busyness,
Yeah.
giving ourselves the gift of presence.
and perspective.
And in those moments, we might discover peace, creativity, connection that can really change things.
So we've been on this incredible journey
We have.
exploring the power of silence,
Yeah, a deep dive into something so simple.
but so profound.
It's about shifting our perspective and recognizing the potential that exists in stillness.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights
It's my pleasure.
and for guiding us through this deep dive.
I hope everyone listening feels inspired to embrace silence and discover its gifts.
It's been a truly enlightening conversation.
It has.
Thanks for joining us.